That's a big motor. I could bet that motor is probably like 1,000 or 2,000 watts, depending on the battery. That's a small battery though. That might be a legal bike, but like that might be a legal bike, but depending on the battery, that could be a very illegal bike, which apparently the cops don't really care as long as you don't drive obnoxiously. And with a 1,000 watt motor, you could probably go 40 or 50 kilometers an hour. And with a 2,000 watt motor, you could probably go 70 or 80 kilometers an hour, maybe even like 100. Probably a 3,000 watt motor, you can get to like 100. And I've seen people go 100. I've seen someone go 100 miles per hour on an e-bike. And it was pretty crazy. The owner of the e-bike actually didn't do it. He got his friend to do it because he was scared. And I don't blame him. Seemed a little bit cartoonish. Like, hey, we made our mountain bike from Walmart that doesn't have the parts that are equipped to actually go 100 miles an hour. We made it go 100 miles an hour, and now we're gonna risk our lives to make a YouTube video. Seemed kind of cartoonish, but it was pretty cool too. I mean, I certainly watched the video. So there's a soap I want to get. It's called, it's like marshmallow soap. It basically feels like marshmallows. It's probably about $7. And I have about $60 left for the rest of the month. And it's already the 10th, I think. And so the other train of thought is be more extreme. And you're making this incredible sacrifice for your health. So you better get a combo deal. Okay, I'm gonna turn the camera down for privacy just because I think they might be sticklers in here. I don't know, maybe I'm just shy. I actually really don't know. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have the marshmallow soap?
Are you thinking to like keep it fluffy like this one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's really great. Hi, can I give you that?
Aloe, and there's gonna be soothing. There's no lavender. It's like a gel, or it's not like a gel. It definitely is like a cream. Yeah. I find the best way to be able to apply it, to not have to use so much, is to have a bit of a damp base still,
So
or use a toner or something.
Okay.
And then apply the moisturizer. If the skin's fully dry when you're putting it on, it's a little hard to spread.
No, thank you.
So you use a lot, and then it ends up being a little bit greasy.
No, thank you. Sorry, 1 second. Thank you. Okay, so this soap is actually like the texture of marshmallows. It's bendy, it's squishy, it's friggin' awesome. And today I'm using my Shure SM11, one of my favorite microphones. A little bit of a waste because I'm plugging it through the preamp of the GoPro, which is less good quality. And yeah, that kind of sucks. And if I put it on line mode to bypass the preamp on the camera, then it somehow makes these like cutting in and out noises. Like every time there's a silent pause, it's like making like obvious, basically noises. I don't know how to explain it. You would have heard it if you watched all my videos at some point. I think some of my night walks had it. But it's nice to be interested in this. Just to have something that I'm interested in. You know, which in my case it's microphones, e-bikes, GoPro cameras, and as of late, water fasting. Now I might not drink any water today because if I drink it too fast, that could mess up my electrolyte balance, which I've been drinking it too fast this whole time. And you are more forgivable when you're eating things to drink water too fast. And just a short explanation why that is because the water goes into your stomach, into your blood. If you drink 1 liter of water, supposing you drink half of the amount of water that you have in your blood, then you dilute your electrolytes by 25%. Or if you drink as much water as you have blood, you suddenly dilute your electrolytes by 50%. And your body needs those to conduct electricity because it runs on microelectric current that it converts from carbohydrates. And so if you have too few electrolytes, you'll die. And that could be very dangerous. And so your kidneys capture the electrolytes from the water that passes through them before the water goes into your bladder. But if you drink the water too fast, the water passes through your kidneys too fast before they have time to capture your electrolytes. And then you lose electrolytes. So to drink water on a fast, you have to do it at a rate that your kidneys can capture the electrolytes to redistribute them into your blood so that you don't die. And even just preceding the fast, I don't think it would be a good idea to chug water quickly, even though I'm eating and that makes up for the loss of electrolytes. I don't think it would be a good idea to chug too much water. And I partially just need a break too, because drinking water is a lot more difficult than not drinking any. Because when you're drinking water, you're cleansing, you're healing. You're going through somewhat of a healing crisis. Okay, you know what? I'm getting motherfucking these. That's what I need. Drink bubbly, maybe. I would like to get juice, but there's no fucking juice here. And they have juice, but it's in the cocksucking bottles. And I want it from concentrate. I want it from cocksucking. And then there's bubbly. I could get pop, but I don't really like pop anymore. And I mean it. I'm not just saying that. I used to drink pop for a long time. And stupid bitch. And I fucking loved it. And for some reason, once I switched over to bubbly, if I chug bubbly, I can only chug about a third of the can before it's too painful. And if I chug Coca-Cola or some kind of flavored, Sprite or orange pop, I can chug like 2/3 of the can before it gets painful. So I don't know what the deal is with that. I have no clue. Now I could buy something from the customer service. That would be cool. Now, I think it's an interesting point about humans that the self-serve line is significantly longer than any of these lines.
You are paying with the card, right? Debit or Visa? Cash is good.
Oh, is this line cash only?
I will scan your item and I will give it to him. You can go over there. He will pay. You can pay cash over there, okay?
Maybe is this cash only line? Kind of seems like it. Excuse me, is this cash only?
No, card only.
Oh, okay, good.
Vishnu, do you have cash? I will suspend one transaction and give it to you.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a review of these. These are amazing. They're cheap. You get 320 grams. Normally for 250 grams, 280 grams, you pay $10. With these, you get 320 grams for $5.99. And the only thing that sucks about them, we have some gangstalkers over here. I'm not even going to show you. There's two guys standing there rubbing their faces. And the only thing that sucks about these is they're whole grain, whole wheat breading. That's why they suck. That's why they're so cheap, because he wants the healthy. But you don't even tell because it's so deep fried. It's by the time you put sauce on it, you can't even tell that it's whole grain. And if you wanted to get these same ones in the the what's it called? In the, regular grain, it would be $5.99 and you would get, I think, 287 grams. Whereas this one is 320 grams. Stupid retarded bitch behind me. Okay. And
Are you paying with card or cash? Card? Because cash is not working.
okay, let's see here.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
That's all right, thanks. Okay, so I got a fucking, and we have I got a fucking good thing here. Okay, I'm very happy with today's grocery shopping. And we have pita breads at home, but they're kind of stale. So that'd be a gangstalker. They just honk whenever I, go anywhere. And I could make my own tortillas, but yeah, if you've ever tried to make tortillas, there's a whole subreddit on them. And it's like, hey, I've been trying for 3 years, I still can't get it. And my sweet abuelita makes them, and she has a temperature gauge, that one of those lasers that you point it at something and it tells you how hot it is. And she puts it on for 10 seconds, then she flips it for 30 seconds when it's at the right temperature. Then she flips it for 20 seconds. And if it's not exactly to the T, exactly that method. Okay, this is a bit of a scary video for me to make because it is a make or break moment of setting my intention to do a water fast. Basically, my goals are getting redundant, getting monotonous. I don't feel the life in it. I'm following it with the exception of today because when I start my water fast tomorrow, I'm going to need all the electrolytes I can get. So, chugging water as I've been doing for the last 9 days. Tomorrow will be day 10. It's a nice round number to start a water fast on. It's a Sunday tomorrow. That's God's day. Water fasting brings you closer to God. God will not be mocked. And I saw this video of this Israeli soldier. And I don't put the Israeli soldiers on a different level than the other soldiers. They're all doing the same thing. She's talking about how she killed a kid. And she's laughing. She's saying, the blood wouldn't come off. I can't get the blood off. And Kurt, who's a commentator on the show who I was watching this clip, that was hosting this clip, he's saying that's not a laugh of funny. That's a laugh of trauma. Like that's a traumatized laugh. And God will not be mocked. Like when you attack nature, you laugh because you would be crying otherwise. Your face is contorted. Just like when you're crying, when you're laughing, you're contorted. And it happened today. I was walking through Walmart. You'll see it actually. I called the girl a stupid bitch. And she's laughing as she's walking in front of me. But if you look really at her face, it's like calloused. It's like it's distressed. There's something wrong with her. It's like she has rabies or something. And so my goals are basically getting tiresome. I'm not really that inspired anymore, and I've been watching a lot of X-rated video content while not cranking my pecker. But something pretty cool happened too. I was imagining getting raped, like always. And let me tell you, before I was overtly gang-stalked to the point where I became conscious of it, I was starting to not have those kind of fantasies. I was starting to actually get off on plain old loving sex. But then when I became traumatized, I went straight back down to I can only be raped, and that's the only thing that makes me get off. At least as a fantasy. And not up the ass either, although that has been a fantasy in the past too. But oh yeah. I don't need to go into it. I don't mean to be too personal, but actually, yeah, I do. So I thought I'm going to get a boner here and imagine I'm tied to a table and the rapists, who are hot women, who are not raping me with strap-ons, but who are just assaulting me in various ways, they're just going to watch my boner. And so that really did it for me because I'm on this no fap thing. So I thought this is the closest I can come to coming, really. And I was trying to come without stimulation. I couldn't do it. And what happened was I felt immense pain, physical pain. I'm so tightly circumcised, or I have so much water that my blood flow is good now, that the skin chastity cage, foot binding effect of circumcision became very painful again, like it used to be back when I was more healthy. It was one of the scariest pains in the entire world to get an erection, and it really showed the necessity of doing foreskin restoration. Now, for a long time, since I've let myself go, I've had bad health habits. One of the first signs of heart disease is erectile dysfunction. Basically, I was limp, I couldn't get a raging, fervent boner. But last night, I could. And when you're on a water fast, you have 3,000% growth hormone. And that will really aid in foreskin restoration, which will help me undo the foot binding effect, which will help me get a full, healthy boner for the first time in my life. So I can kind of evolve at this point out of necessity. I can kind of say, well, I'm outgrowing the current sleeve that I'm wearing. My slack is all gone and my Tootsie Roll. Need to evolve. Doing a water fast really helps that. Gives the skin more elasticity. Gives my body more blood. Gives my vital organs more blood. And then there's some excess water left over that I can hydrate other parts of my body too, like my skin. Because if you're dehydrated, which I am, your water goes to your most important parts, like your vital organs and your blood. And it doesn't go to your trivial parts as your body designates them, like your skin, for example. So doing water fasting, I'll have a lot more water and I'll have a lot more growth hormone so I can get this stretch going on. And I also have a new understanding of drinking water at pace, which I kind of made a faulty assumption before that I'm peeing the same amount of volume in the same time intervals, whether I chug or whether I sip. So therefore, the water has to be passing through my kidneys at the same rate regardless. Therefore, my kidneys are incapable or as capable either way of capturing the electrolytes before the water passes into my bladder to redistribute the electrolytes into my blood so I don't get an electrolyte deficiency. But that was a faulty assumption. If I drink water slowly, I actually won't be peeing as often. And for some reason, I thought I would be. But it doesn't make sense that I would be. So I have the visceral understanding now that drinking water slowly, which is very needed, is necessary. And so I don't have to drink water slowly for this water fast and be questioning the entire process the whole time, wanting to give up, waiting to give up, saying this is so stupid, I should just be chugging water, I should just be eating fruit, I should just be, etc., etc. So doing it by the book is actually going to help me, even though there's more effort in doing it by the book, which the book is written by Lauren Lockman, Tanglewood Wellness Center. He's in my opinion, in my very strong suspicion, gang-stalked water fasting expert. So I've watched all his YouTube videos over the years. I think I'll be fine to do at least a 21-day water fast, preferably like a 30-day water fast. And that's going to finally get the old crap out of my guts. So today I'm not doing exercise because I don't want to be sweating. And I'm not doing chugging water because I don't want to be losing electrolytes before the water fast. And I'm not doing cranking off my Tic Tac because I don't want to be losing electrolytes through jizzing. And on the health front, something that's important that I just have to tell myself and you guys, maybe you already know, sleeping is really important to get enough sleep. And I'm one of those I need 12 hours kind of people. 11 or 12, at least 10, 11 or 12. Today I got a good 11 or 12 and I'm just fucking cranking and zanking. Okay? Everything works today. Everything works. And a lot of times, regardless of what I'm doing, I'm fucking Cleopatra. I'm literally having sex with Cleopatra. I'm flying. I'm literally levitating. And I'm, just being fabulous. But I don't get enough sleep and nothing works. So you have to get enough sleep. And so that's one of the things that I could put as a note in my mental file, that if I'm doing the right thing, I'm water fasting, I'm having a supportive audience, I'm being the best version of myself that I can, moving towards healthier version of myself. If I don't get enough sleep for some reason, everything's going to feel wrong. And at that time, my mind might lie to me. And I might say, yeah, you should just do a little jack off session. Yeah, you should just quit because everyone loves you no matter what. And kumbaya, dude. And so the first thing I should do is try to get back to sleep if I can. And if I really can't get back to sleep, because we live with a gang stalker, obviously. So every morning she's blasting her music, just till I wake up, and then it goes off. It's like clockwork. Super loud, talk show, whatever on TV, just for a few minutes. I already know. As soon as I open my eyes in bed, I know that the music's coming any second now. And I wondered, are they monitoring my breathing? How do they know, like, literally as soon as I'm waking up, they're, even though my eyes are closed and I'm still, they know. It makes me wonder about that EEG heterodyning or whatever, like, brain to computer interface kind of stuff. I don't pay too much attention to that. It's kind of out of my league. If it's true or not, I don't know. A lot of people say we have microchips and there's a visual and an audio cortex in our brain and they can actually see our thoughts or see what we're seeing. I've seen some far out shit. Like on the Joe Rogan podcast, I saw a YouTube short and he was showing a video of some guy playing video games using his mind, just his mind, and he could do all these motor controls. So I don't know. If people are reading my thoughts, I don't really care because I have like pretty good thoughts. Like if you're a bad person, my thoughts are going to interrupt you. Like my thoughts are going to be like, okay, I'm doing my water fast, trying to get 5 girlfriends to live with me, and trying to get my own place, trying to get my own car, trying to become enlightened. And I mean, that'll just have a positive influence on the people who are reading my thoughts, if that even happens. But even if people are reading my thoughts, I don't really care. So today is probably going to be a video game day. A lot of times there's something wrong. If you don't have the energy to play video games, there's probably something wrong. To really enjoy your video games. Today I'm going to be really enjoying my video games. And, I just ate a chicken wrap. I had my vegan chicken like always. And yesterday I had not vegan chicken. I had real chicken because it was going to waste. Like there was like a catering thing and there was extra wraps, chicken wraps. And so my mom brought home a whole bunch of these extra chicken wraps. And obviously I said, who gave them to you? Did someone just I was questioning, is it a gang stalker? He gave a little point. She's like, no, it was a big event and there was leftovers. Anyone could take some. So I took some. And these fucking things. Okay. I swear to God, vegan chicken is better. Okay. Not better than a rotisserie chicken. I mean, obviously if I wasn't vegan, I'd be going straight down to Robert's Boxed Meats. I'd be taking out a loan for $100. I'd be buying a roast of ribeye steaks. I'd be going to the grocery store, getting zesty Italian dressing, marinating them. I'd be getting our barbecue working. I don't think we have a barbecue anymore. We used to, though. I'd be marinating those steaks for a fucking day each. I'd be salting the fuck out of them. I'd be making maybe fries with them, maybe mushrooms with them. Be cooking them medium rare. I'd be going down to Costco. I'd be getting fucking rotisserie after rotisserie after rotisserie chicken. I'd be not going to Swiss Chalet because the ones at Costco are better. I'd be eating the fucking drumsticks, the fucking thighs. And as for the breasts, which I don't really like, I would be probably making quesadilla or something with those, which I wouldn't even really care. By that time, I'd rather have the vegan chicken. And so there were breasts deep fried, like kind of like KFC has in a twister. My God, there wasn't even enough mayonnaise on these. It could have been pretty good if I would have put mayonnaise on them, actually. This whole rant I'm going on is completely null and void because the real problem wasn't that the chicken sucked. It was that there just wasn't enough mayonnaise. But there is a line of truth in this rant that tonight when I had my vegan chicken by Yves, it was juicier. It needed less mayonnaise than what the real chicken needed, and I was really into it. I dipped some in some plum sauce, and I was like, this is amazing. This actually tastes like a literal chicken nugget from McDonald's. Like, this is really, really good. And I made a wrap. I put some Worcestershire sauce in my Big Mac sauce that I made, and, you know, I had it on an old pita, which was kind of fucking stale. So I had to wrap it with tin foil to make it kind of tight because it would fall apart if I didn't use the tin foil to wrap it. So anyways, I've been watching X-rated content like every night. I've been pretty damn wanting to give up on my goals. Pretty fucking tired of it. But also very appreciative of the audience. There's at least 2 people who like my videos every time. I'm getting an average of 20-something views per video. That means that 1 out of 15 people like my video, and my favorite YouTuber right now, Apri, he gets that same ratio. I divided his likes to his views, and he gets about 1 out of 15 people like his video. So my lovability factor is about the same as his. I'm just not as popular. But I might get more popular if I have a message worth spreading, and that's up to the audience to decide. And it's also up to me to make something juicy enough that people want to watch it. Like right now, for example, I weigh 210 pounds. Do you think it factors into my mind to say I could probably lose about 30 pounds in 30 days with the water fast? Yeah, that definitely factors in. Is that why I'm doing the water fast? Not even at all. But is that one of the things that I'm thinking how juicy that would be for the YouTube audience? Who there's probably a lot of people out there who would say, you know, I'd want to do a water fast to lose that weight. Could I gain some audience that way? Maybe, but are they my true audience? Not really. So who cares really about that? But then again, what is my true audience? One of the things I like the best is when I talk for a while and I don't even bring up gangstalking. And I think, how great is that? The people must really like what I'm saying. Because if I make a video about gangstalking, that's a certain niche. That's like when someone is just interested in you for sex, or just interested in you because you sell burritos at the market. So you have a lineup. But when you're just vlogging about regular stuff and people still watch, then it's like you've expanded your horizons. And on some level, it's like you've broken out of the confines of being gangstalked, where everything is about gangstalking and your whole life revolves around being a victim. And so it's more integrated. Like, look how being a victim fits into my entire life. Like, I'm not a victim. I'm being victimized. I have a life here. I'm doing water fasting. I'm making chicken wraps. I'm riding on my e-bike. And I have concerns and hopes and dreams. And someone broke in the house, and it's really painful. And it really fucked me up today. And it's really affecting all these other goals. Rather than just saying, and you know what they did, and then they did this, and then they did this, and I'm so fucked, and I'm just hopeless, and it's all going to shit, and who cares anyway, and we have to organize and fight these people, and fuck these people. And anyone watching from the outside, they're like, I can't get on with that. Like, I can't make the whole point of my life fighting some potential enemy. I can't just give up everything. I can't relate to this. I can't relate to putting the whole center of my life as gangstalking. And finally, the other point I want to make is when you don't jack off, you have all this fucking energy, and it's fucking bothersome sometimes. And I'm not that good at channeling it right now, transmutation as they call it. basically like converting it into love, converting your sexual energy into refined, pure light or something. You know, I'm just kind of suffering over here. I'm fucking suffering to do this. Something I learned today when I was sitting in my chair looking at this tree over here, I was just like, you know, I wasn't bussy maxing. I wasn't doing any techniques. I was just sitting here and I was just feeling my energy. I mean, I wasn't even feeling my energy as a verb. I was just noticing my energy, if that makes sense. I was feeling it passively, if that makes sense. My energy was making itself known to me, and I was not trying to distract myself by doing something. I'm going to do some meditation technique. I was just doing nothing, and the presence of my energy was there. And I felt like, oh yeah, this is good. And I just sat there, and I wanted to go into something. I wanted to go into my mind, to what am I going to do, play video games, how am I going to do this, how am I going to do that? And I just sat there. And my energy just took over. It was more powerful than my thoughts, more powerful than my boredom, which was aggravating me, my frustration of my boredom. My energy was just present, and I'm just sitting in this chair, looking at this tree. And in my mind, I'm going, you're a total loser. You should jack off. All these goals suck. You better do something. What are you going to do? Are you going to water fast? You couldn't do that. You don't have the guts. Oh, you're going to say your mind talks a big game, but when it comes down to it, hour 5, night 2, night 3, night 4, you're going to go, at some point you're going to crack, and it's all stupid anyway. My mind's going on. I'm thinking if I could just remember how to meditate like I used to before I was traumatized, everything's going to get better. I'm going to go back to like how I used to be before I was traumatized, and then I'll have the power to water fast, where I get so high that it's almost scary, because that was one of the reasons why when I wasn't traumatized before I was traumatized, and I was traumatized even before I was traumatized. Before I was overtly traumatized, I was covertly traumatized, and I didn't quite know it, but the signs were there. But I was still doing a lot better than I was after I was overtly traumatized, when it went overt, when the gangstalking went overt. Back then, when I used to water fast, I got so high, it was like I was on mushrooms, but a too big dose, like 10 grams of mushrooms. Like, it was a crazy dose. I was so high. And what used to go wrong then is I would turn into the Terminator, and all the things that were wrong with the world, like the 2019 mass murder, my opinions on veganism, my understandings on veganism, not opinions, I would definitely convince people. And when they wouldn't be convinced, I wouldn't say, let's just agree to disagree. I would say, no, I am going to convince you. And their next step was to say, you're fucking insane. And I couldn't really get it. I would always be butting heads with people because I wouldn't be sly. You know, I would find the light. I would find the meaning of life. I would find the inside track where all the spiritual people have went, the lone trail. Everyone else is moving on the superhighway. Millions and millions. They're all trying to get to the middle. But I was on that very narrow, far out, lone path where only the spiritual people go. And I was trying to share that with everyone who didn't even want to hear it because I was so high on my water fasting, on my health. I was like, no, but you need this. Don't you realize? Whenever you get fucked up, it's actually a search for unity. Like, you're actually searching for the divine peace, the totality. You're looking to merge with everything. And they'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'd be like, you know, when you get fucked up, you're trying to bypass your ego. Like, you're schizophrenic. And when you get drunk, you become unconscious so that your conscious mind and your unconscious mind stop fighting. You're trying to just get into your unconscious so that you don't have the split. A schizophrenic means a split between your unconscious and your conscious mind. You're trying to get as unconscious as you can so that you don't have all your energy usurped, hijacked by the fight between your unconscious and your conscious. Your getting fucked up is actually a search for religion, for God. And they would just be like, yeah, you're fucking crazy, dude. And you know, and it just wouldn't work. And there's kind of an arrogance to it. You know, when you tell someone anything, they say, well, who the fuck are you? You know, don't you know that I'm already perfect in every way? And you're telling me anything? Do you know who I am? You know, you should be so lucky to even share your opinion with me. And no one wanted to hear it. And so now I've learned, no, don't be so sly. And so if I get to higher realms, and the other thing that happened was I would get so high, I would actually become scared. The truths I would learn were kind of scary. But that was more when I would do too much shrooms. And arguably that would be because you're dulling your intelligence. When you do shrooms, you get super, super high. You can understand things a lot more, but your intelligence is also dimmed. So you can't understand things in the full context. But if you get that high in a way where you're actually physiologically healthy, then you can integrate what you learn. You have these rare insights, these really, really deep insights. Like it could be like a mother-in-law hates her son-in-law because she's raised her daughter to be very prim and proper, but suddenly the son-in-law makes her daughter act like an idiot. And so the mother feels like her parenting has been devalidated and she wants to be needed. So therefore she hates the son-in-law. But she can't admit that she hates the son-in-law. She'll never say, I actually hate him. But that's like one of those rare truths that if you suddenly understand that, if you say, I'm actually having dreams of someone dying and it's actually me killing that son-in-law, but I can't actually deal with that, so I'm masking it. I'm making the person who dies someone else I've never seen, but it's actually my son-in-law who I'm masking and pretending is someone else in a dream. I actually want to kill my son-in-law. I actually hate him. And like those kind of deep truths, you can't actually process those if you're too high because you don't have the intelligence. There's a lot of disturbing, shocking truths that you can learn the higher you go. And so you have to get there in a fucking wholesome way so that you have your intelligence. And so that's why you shouldn't do drugs to get there, because something in the wires will get crossed. Something in the transmission, there'll be some kind of faulty wiring that goes on, and you'll somehow you're going to have a misalignment and you're going to freak out. And that's what would happen when I would do huge doses of shrooms all the time, like a few times a week, professionally growing organic shrooms. I was fucking very much not a hypocrite, very much headbutting everyone and not capable of dealing with the repercussions of that. Okay, very scared at, oh shit, I didn't know that people are going to react like this. And then they did, and it was too much. And, and sometimes I just plainly went a little nuts too. Sometimes I just had some obsessive, neurotic feelings and thoughts that were just totally nuts after I wasn't high anymore. And a lot of what that was is I was trying to explain and find closure in the gangstalking. I was coming up with bizarre things like, I must have slighted this person and that's why everything's wrong. But really it was gangstalking. And so I was like, I have to apologize to that person. Oh my God. And they're like, dude, I don't even remember what you're talking about. And I'm like, no, this is like, my whole life is ruined if I don't apologize to you for this thing. And they're like, you're nuts, dude. Like, you're seriously nuts. But in my mind, I'm being gang-stalked. I don't realize it yet. There's all these people condemning me, and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling like condemned, and I'm trying to go around apologizing, trying to say like, was it you? Like, what? Why are you doing this to me? I'm sorry. That'll solve it. Trying to put fucking closure to it, trying to understand what was happening. So that was also a reason why I went kind of nuts. And so I realized there's a correlation between getting high, water fasting, and doing shrooms. So I was kind of wary of water fasting. I wouldn't go too far into water fasting. And it was only since after the gangstalking went overt that I kind of calmed down, that I did a full week water fasting. I didn't drink water at the correct pace. I kind of did too. I didn't really get enough sleep. And the day I quit, I thought that someone poisoned my toothbrush. My toothbrush tasted really weird, and I hadn't got enough sleep, but I did think I could continue the fast if I want to. And it may just have been plain laziness. It may just have been plain fucking fear of success. I don't know. I got pad thai though. I'll tell you that. But certainly it wasn't a safety hazard. Certainly I had the distinct conversation with myself in my mind. You don't need to quit. You know that, right? You could keep going. You are on day 8. That's a whole big thing for you. But I quit for whatever reason. I'm not exactly sure. Now, if there was something put on my toothbrush, that would have broken my fast too. And, you know, I was discouraged. I was quite sure that something had been put on my toothbrush. It tasted very weird. So, tomorrow I'm going to water fast. I'm probably going to go for 21 days or maybe 30 days. And I think that's going to add a whole new flavor to my videos. It's going to add a whole new enthusiasm to my process. And it's cinematic. Day 10, Sunday, God's day, gets you closer to God, gets you healthier. On the 10th day, starting the water fast, I have the momentum behind me of not cranking my Tic Tac. I'm going to regrow my foreskin. It's nice weather out. I mean, and I have a supportive audience. So I think this is a healthy thing. I think this is about the time to do it. And that's exciting, you know? That's exciting. So anyways, thanks for watching, and toodaloo.